The human population is basically killing the environment. I'm not talking about the basic recycling, I'm talking about disrupting the natural balance of nature, like nutrient enrichment. We're taking the nutrients from one place and putting it into another. An example would be like a guy in Washington eating a piece of broccoli that was originally from the soil of California, and after digestion, passing those nutrients to the Potomac River on its way to the ocean. Another popular example would be like water runoff, when water drags some nutrients to the ocean and disrupting the chemical balance between the two places. These chemicals can be toxic and kill the organisms in that one place.
Besides oxides, humans also release toxins in nature as well. The main worry is biological magnification. It's just a chain reaction where one animal eats a toxin, and the animal that eats that animal gets the toxin, and the animal that eats that animal gets the toxin. An example is the pesticide DDT. When the population of eagles, pelicans, and osprey population was declining, the DDT resulted in the eggshells thinning and the eggs would break.
Speaking of excess oxides, it's also caused by burning wood and fossil fuels. These oxides react with water in the atmosphere, forming sulfuric and nitric acid. This acid solution comes down by precipitation, either by snow, rain, sleet, or fog. Unfortunately, acid precipitation occurred all the way back since the Industrial Revolution, and the emissions have increased since. In fact, in Europe, the pH of rain was at a record of around 3. This kind of rain can change the nutrients in the soil and damage the growth rates of plants.
Ozone depletion, enough said. The ozone protects the Earth from UV radiation and prevents the waves from reaching organisms. The accumulation of CFC, chemicals from refrigerators, and as propellants in aerosol cans cause gradual thinning of the ozone layer. The chlorine goes into the stratosphere, reducing the molecular O2. This is seen in Antarctica and the poles.
CO2 is another factor that could ruin the Earth. CO2 levels increase due to combustion from the Industrial Revolution and increase of vegetation. Before the 1850s, the CO2 level was at 274 ppm, but now the CO2 levels are over 370 ppm. The long-term effects are the greenhouse and the global warming. The greenhouse effect is when CO2 and the water vapor reflect the light that was already reflected by the planet. The heat then melts polar ice caps and raises the sea levels by an estimate of 100 meters. Miami, New York, and Los Angeles would be underwater. Many plants would not survive the changes of climate, and animals will lose land as well as food.
A huge thing is agriculture and its effects on the nitrogen cycle. Nitrogen is a major nutrient in agriculture, and by mixing and plowing soil, organic materials decompose and usable nitrogen is released. The lost nitrogen are then replaced by artificial but nutrient-rich fertilizer. This is the reason why the fixed nitrogen levels have doubled. The nitrogen can go into the lakes and oceans, poisoning fishies and contaminating water supplies.
So where does this leave us?
Dead, unless we actually take action to stop these damaging effects.
Limit transportation. Perhaps ride a bike.
Stop using high nutrient fertilizers.
You can grow your own garden in the backyard. Okay, that's good.
Hammer time, quiz time.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. My music hits me.